The intent of this podcast is for entertainment only. Our stories are based on the opinions and thoughts of ourselves and the research we cite. We encourage you to conduct your own research and form opinions based on your findings.
Hey everyone, Dan dropping in here to let you know that this week's episode is going to be a little different. Allison and myself are a little bit in mourning since the Phillies did not win the World Series, so we decided to cheer ourselves up by sharing our favorite episode from the past. So we hope you guys enjoy it, and we'll be back in the next one. Bye.
Hello.
Hello. Welcome back, everybody. This is Conspiracy Happy Hour.
Woo!
Ooh, spooky.
I hope everyone brought their favorite beverage with them today.
Oh, I did. I don't know. It's the first time I'm having it. It's not the greatest.
What are you drinking today, Allison?
This is a Vizzy watermelon and kiwi seltzer. I think it's the kiwi that's throwing me off, though. Because I have the watermelon passion fruit one, and that's pretty good. I think it's the kiwi.
I'm drinking a Sam Adams Cold Snap.
Oh, I love Sam Adams.
Me too. The Cold Snap is good.
Don't mind me. I feel like I sound like I'm in a cloud right now. I have such bad allergies. I can't breathe out of my nose. So.
Allergies are a conspiracy.
Are they?
No, I have them too. I
wouldn't
suffer.
doubt it. There's a conspiracy surrounding allergies.
Yeah, I always think there is someone trying to sabotage my sinuses. So.
Yeah.
But today, actually, I'm actually fine.
No, I just sound like shit. So I sound the same way last night. I was recording my own podcast, and I was like, "Don't hate me. I sound horrible."
Oh, you have a new episode of Tell Me I'm Not Crazy?
It's coming out soon. It was just recorded last night, so
Woo!
I'm very excited. I think it's going to be a fun one. It's going to be a long one, let me tell you.
Do you want to give the? I don't know when this is coming. I was going to say, do you want to give the listeners a?
Well, it will be getting released on...
A hint of what your topic is what I was trying to say.
Oh, no, they're not getting a hint.
Okay.
Y'all are going to be surprised. But it will be released the first Monday of April, so whenever that is, I'm not really sure.
Coming up.
It's coming up,
Yeah.
duh, but it'll be a fun one.
I can't believe it's April already.
God.
But that just means one step closer to the beach.
Oh my God, I can't wait. But like the thing too is like, I've been able to go outside without a jacket on. I fucking love that.
I know.
It's like one more step when you're getting ready to go outside. You have to throw a jacket on or your shoes. I like the summer because I literally can slide my feet into a pair of flip-flops and then leave the house. Like nothing else is necessary.
Yeah, I do not like the winter, and I feel like we've been teased with the recent weather we've been having when it's been 80 degrees.
Yeah, but you know what? I'll take that tease over it like snowing.
Yeah.
So,
Agreed.
I mean, yeah.
Okay.
Well, Dan, I thought we would start this specific podcast off. Well, this one and moving forward, but we'll start it off with like a Mandela effect fact of the day.
All right, hit me.
Do we like that?
I do. I'm ready.
Okay. Let me pull the shit up. I got shit everywhere on my iPad. I did a lot of research, so I'm like, I'm sorry. But I feel like the first topic that we should cover as far as our Mandela effect would be how the Mandela effects started. So the first one we are going to cover is Nelson Mandela's death. So the name for these conspiracies, these little short storied conspiracies all came from Nelson Mandela. So the theory is that he died in 2013. However, countless people, and I'm quoting, this is off of goodhousekeeping.com. I just want to point that out.
You mean you didn't write this yourself?
I did not. I look, I wrote my whole conspiracy. This is side biz. So it says, let's start with the reason we're all here. Nelson Mandela, who this theory is named after, died in 2003, which I probably sound really uncultured. I thought he was still alive. I didn't realize he was dead. But anyway.
I don't think I realized he was dead either. I thought that was the whole joke of it.
I know. That's what I thought. I guess not. I guess we're wrong on multiple accounts here. But anyway, however, countless people distinctly remember him dying, obviously not me, distinctly remember him dying in prison in 1980. But his death isn't only an example of the Mandela effect. We've been wrong about so many dates, deaths, and more. Okay. Ending there. It's just telling me to keep swiping for more. And I'm like, okay, we're good.
Yeah, it's not working.
You only get one today. Sorry, people. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, but we want to have that as a little fun way to start our podcast, a different Mandela effect. Yeah.
No, I think there are like some that are extremely common that everybody is just like, I've heard this one before. I get it. I know. But I know that there's some that I'll hear about and I'm like, oh, I didn't even think about that. But yeah, that's how I remember spelling it, or that's how I remember seeing the logo, or just, I think it could have to do with like a glitch in the universe, time travel bullshit. I don't know. But when you specifically, and not just you, when everybody specifically remembers seeing a phrase or a logo or a word look one way, and you find out it never looked that way at all, it's like something's a little off.
Yeah.
So, shall we get into our conspiracies?
We are. Who should go first?
I don't know. Let's play rock, paper, scissors. Ready?
Okay.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Both scissors.
Said both scissors.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Both
Both
rocks.
rocks.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Ha! Paper covers
Okay.
rock, bitch. Me first.
Fine.
I'm just starting a trend. I'll always go first from now on. So, now I know that we don't talk about our conspiracies until just now.
Yeah, we
but
want to
wanna
keep them a
know-
surprise from each other.
Well, let me first give my sources. So I have used hitc.com, Snopes.com, Snopes, Snopes.com, Distractify.com, and the SmithsonianMag.com.
Before you start,
Okay.
can I tell you a funny story that happened to me today that was almost kind of not Mandela effect, but it's more just my memory's really
Like
bad.
a deja vu type of situation?
It was just like, you do something and then you forget about it and then it pops up later.
Triggers you later. Yeah.
Well, I saw a TikTok.
Oh, it all starts with the TikTok.
I saw a TikTok where it was this one person I follow and he's like, I wish I knew this stuff when I was 30. And he goes into something.
Okay.
So this was like, I wish I knew this when I was 30. You can request your FBI file.
Like if you committed a crime?
Yeah.
Or like your background check?
Like the Freedom of Information Act.
Yeah.
You can send a request to the FBI for your file. And
Only your own personal? Okay.
well, you can request other stuff because you can request.
Like what if you want to do a background check on somebody?
Well, it's not.
sketchy?
It's not technically a background check. It's
I mean,
more.
the FBI files
Yeah.
pretty much the same thing.
But I filled out the form on the Freedom of
no,
Information.
you didn't. You requested your own file.
I requested my own file. Cut to me forgetting, going to my mailbox today, pulling out a letter from the Bureau of
Stop it.
the Federal Bureau
Oh,
of
my
Investigation,
God.
and I'm just like, my heart sank. I was like, why do I have a letter from the FBI?
Oh my God.
And then I go to my car and I open it and I look. I was like, oh, this is my response to my Freedom of Information Act request.
That's
And
so funny.
I regret to inform everyone that I unfortunately do not have a file. And that's what the letter
It's
said.
just one page.
It was, yeah. It was,
one page just saying
well, no, it was a
nothing.
government thing. So it was 3 pages telling me I don't have a file.
Just basically 3 pages of saying you're boring as fuck.
Yeah, and I was really sad. But
I mean, I guess sad or like happy that
I mean, I guess
you never got in trouble. I mean, I'm sure you could show it to your employer and
I
be
don't
like,
know. I
Here,
thought
I'm a good
one of the
person."
conspiracy theories is there's an FBI agent watching you on your phone. I was really upset that I didn't have a letter from my personal FBI
Well, what the
agent.
fuck are you talking about? Like near your phone that you have to worry about that shit.
I talk about a lot of stuff. How much I hate my job.
I know. You no longer work for this company.
Yeah, if they actually listen to my computer, I'd be fired.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, I would. I say a lot
Yeah.
of stuff about people
But that,
at work.
that
and
was
I'm
just a
like,
fun little story that I wanted
like
to share
that.
with you.
I didn't know you could do that.
Yeah, TikTok.
I kind of might try that, but then hopefully I don't forget. Oh my God,
Well,
what do they want more money?
I don't have anything.
Oh my goodness. Okay, well, back to my theory. So my theory is one that is a sort of new theory. It's not something that has tons and tons of documentation and research surrounding it, but I did think it was interesting, and it was one of those things that I can definitely build off of if we need to in the future or if it's requested to go into more detail. But the theory is that Donald Trump and his family all traveled from a distant time with the goal of ruling over the U.S.
I believe it.
So time travel.
I love a good time travel one.
Oh my goodness, it's so interesting. Let me tell you. So
Let me get my drink. Hold on.
go for it.
I'm
get
ready.
a drink. Okay. So sit back, relax, pull that blankie up. So let's just for a second, let's forget about all of the bullshit that we went through for like the past 4 years, because this is just like a fun, like interesting little thing to think about. So this theory in itself all revolves around 3 books that were written in the 18th century. And these 3 books are all real books. They all exist. You can go do your like archiving, look up information. All 3 of these books do exist. But they were written by Ingersoll Lockwood. So the first book is The Travels and Adventures of Little Baron Trump and His Wonderful Dog Bulger.
This is a book from the 18th century?
This is a book from the 18th century, yes. The second book, some of these are so freaky to think about. Like, it's really weird comparisons. The second book is, and it's the sequel to the first one, is Baron Trump's Marvelous Underground Adventure. The last book is The Last President. So
I don't like this.
very real.
I don't like
this
this.
is like I said, this is one to think about. This is not one that I personally necessarily believe it's true. Could have happened.
I kind of want to find these books and like see if I can read them.
There was, I think it's called archive.com, and you can research. I'll find you the link later, but if you go on archive.com, you can definitely find these.
These books.
Oh, absolutely. I think I still have it pulled up somewhere. All right. So the storyline follows the story of a young boy named Baron Trump who finds a secret portal in Russia, and through the portal finds out how to time travel. So if you're thinking back to when Donald Trump was in presidency,
Yeah, he loved Russia.
He loved Russia. He was trying his best to make them allies. Well, maybe he knew that there was a secret portal in Russia that he needed to get to learn how to time travel. I don't know. I'm just saying. So.
Maybe the portal's in Ukraine.
It got too real.
Maybe that's why there's a war happening right now.
Oh my God.
Not to date the episode, but.
So, although the names are spelled differently, I think in the books, Baron is spelled with 2 R's, and in real life, Baron is spelled with 1 R. Could be mixing those up. But the names are spelled differently. The basis of the story is that adventures begin in Russia, and he's guided with directions thanks to, quote, the master of all masters, end quote, a man named Don. Not just Don, but by Lockwood's 3rd novel, The Last President, is when shit starts getting real. I have a quote from the book I'll read. It says, quote, the entire East Side is in a state of uproar. Police officers shouted through the streets, warning folks to stay indoors. Mobs of vast sizes are organizing under the lead anarchists and socialists, and threaten to plunder and despoil the houses of the riches who have wronged and oppressed them for so many years. Now,
is this too real?
Do you remember when he first took presidency and people were pissed and everybody started destroying small businesses, looting, stealing. And then I think for a while, the police even had a curfew. Like, you had to be in your house at 8 o'clock just to kind of help minimize this. And if you're out of your house after like 8 o'clock or whatever it is, you could get arrested just because they were trying to cut down on all of this bullshit going on. So yes, very, very eerily the same. So then also the beginning of The Last President, there's another quote, and I'm going to quote this from the book as well. Quote, the Fifth Avenue Hotel will be the first to feel the fury of the mob. The thing is, the man who won presidency was highly wealthy and lived on Fifth Avenue. End quote.
Is that where his hotel is?
He has Trump Tower, which is located on Fifth Avenue, and that is where he lived until he moved to the White House.
Yeah, I do remember that.
How fucking, like, why does somebody writing about this shit in was there a Fifth Avenue in the 1800s?
There wasn't in the United States. There might have been, but
I mean, like, there wasn't that would be one really.
I don't know this for a fact, but I would probably guess that New York wasn't built up like that.
Not like that.
Yeah.
Not to have a distinct Fifth Avenue. So yes, another like really weird. Here's the last one that gets me a little bit. After Lockwood's character becomes president, one of the first people that he chooses for his cabinet was a man named LaFay Pence. Where is it? L-A-F-E. LaFay? I don't know. LaFay Pence. So tell me that name doesn't sound just a little bit familiar.
Yeah, I don't like this.
I mean, right? How weird is this? Oh, it freaks me out.
I definitely want to read these books now.
Yeah, I know. Now I have to like do my own research.
Mhm.
I've never read the books. I've heard about this theory like a few times. But like I said, this is like a newer theory since Donald Trump took office. So it's relatively new. There's not too much documentation surrounding it, but like,
wow.
yeah. So now then you're probably all like, how could he have even gotten his hands on a time travel machine, right? Well, here's where I'm going to start going off into like a little
Put my tin hat on.
rant. Yeah, so this is like a little background story for all of this. Now, the answer, people believe, is a man named Nikola Tesla.
Mhm.
I don't know if anyone's ever heard of Nikola Tesla.
I have.
Okay. So he was a mechanical...
He invented the car.
I don't think he's related. I think it was different.
I'm
It
kidding.
very well could have. I don't know.
I'm kidding.
I mean, it could be
It's
related.
named after him, but Nikola Tesla's more about like electricity.
Yes, so he was an electrical engineer, he was a mechanical engineer, and an inventor. He immigrated to the U.S. and even had the pleasure of working with Thomas Edison. And coincidentally, like he was able to convince J.P. Morgan. Sounds like a familiar name.
Ooh, to
He was
sink the
able-
Titanic.
He was able to convince J.P. Morgan to finance him more than $150,000. So it's crazy that even at that time, like $150,000 is a lot now. Like imagine back then.
Mm-hmm. It's probably a couple million.
So after Tesla received that money, he quickly hired an architect named Stanford White to draw up blueprints for his vision. Now, this is a quote stated by Tesla. So it says, as soon as completed, it will be possible for a businessman in New York to dictate instructions and have them instantly appear in type at his office in London or elsewhere. He will be able to call up from his desk and talk on the to any telephone subscriber on the globe without any change whatever in a little of this sounds a little funky, but I swear to God, it's a direct quote. In existing equipment.
So he's describing a cell phone?
An inexpensive... He's basically describing something where he can communicate other places. He can transition. At the time, he's just stating items. So he can transition items from X point to Y point.
Gotcha.
So it sounds extremely familiar to a time machine.
Mm-hmm.
Now, there is another conspiracy surrounding Tesla himself that does have to do with time travel. I'm not going to get into that right now.
Tune in.
It could easily be a future topic. But in 1989, Tesla's plans was to create a worldwide transmission machine called Wycliffe Tower. In 1901, Wycliffe Tower was under construction, and Tesla soon realized that he would not have enough money to finish the project. With no more assistance from J.P. Morgan, he discovered an Italian inventor was also using 17 of his patents that he created. So his project was at a standstill. After all that, he left behind the project, did not touch it again. He kind of fell into like an obsessive compulsive thing. He was very like depressed because of all of it. And then he ended up passing away in 1943 in debt. So now to bring it back around, how did Donald Trump even locate a time machine? Back to Donald Trump. He had an uncle named John Trump. Now, John Trump was also a electrical engineer. So he was very knowledgeable. He went to MIT. But John Trump, after the death, like weeks after the death of Tesla, was handed all of the blueprints that Tesla had ever created. And he was told to analyze all of these blueprints for every invention he's ever come up with. Now, through the years, Tesla's papers have become declassified. So you can, for the most part, you can go and find these documents online. You can see his blueprints. However, some of these blueprints, between them going over to John Trump and then going back to the government, went missing.
Of course.
So the theory, to finish this off, John Trump held on to the files about the possible time machine. So could these files have been taken and held on to by John Trump? And then if they were, maybe John figured out how to make prints a reality, and Donald Trump has learned to time travel.
Wow.
Interesting, right?
That's wow. Yeah.
Right? It's so fun. Like, some of the similarities between the book itself and then the actual events that took place are just so, like...
Yeah, it's, like, scary.
It is. So I said, especially thinking about it while Donald Trump was in office was, like, really bizarre. And I've never, like, dug in, done the full research behind the entire story, how X connects to Y connects to B. But I don't know. I just found this one really interesting.
I've never heard that one before.
No. Yeah, it's not a lot of people have it because, like I said, it's new. There's not too much, like, information on it yet, but it's
the thing that got me was those books.
They're so eerily similar.
Those books.
It's so freaky. And like I said, I think the last president may not have been written in the 18th century. It might have been like the very beginning of the 19th century. So this is like between, I think the first book was written in 1889 and the last book might have been written in like 1901. And I'm making that up, the last one.
Okay.
But I think like it's a 10-year gap when all of those were written. So I mean, just the fact, even still, they were written over 100 years ago since Donald Trump took office. So it's very weird. And I mean, once again, it's also extremely weird how John Trump, out of anybody in the world, received those blueprints. And then some of them were missing when they were sent back.
Yeah, that's so
it's just
weird.
It's so weird connections all the way around.
All right, so I'll get right into mine.
Woohoo.
Mine is a little not close to home, but home in the sense of it takes place in New Jersey.
Oh, get out. Okay.
Yes, North Jersey to be specific. But and today on the menu is spooky.
Ooh, we're not doing conspiracy. I like to change it.
Yeah. Different little palate cleanser, as you would call it, with spooks.
Love that.
So this, I don't even know if it's not really a haunting. It's more literally just like spooky.
Like a legend, like urban legend type of thing?
Kind of.
Okay.
It is the mystery of New Jersey's Westfield Watcher.
I have never heard of this. Okay.
Yeah. Have you ever heard of or been to Westfield?
I don't think so. I might have driven through it, but I don't know officially if I've ever been.
Westfield is a very rich town.
Okay.
But it has like a very nice little shopping district.
Yeah, that's why I've never been there. It's rich town.
It's also in North Jersey, and if you're not there for a specific reason, like you're not going to go there.
No, not. We live in South Jersey, so it's a little far.
Not going to travel 2 hours to go get something that we can't afford. Okay, the mystery of New Jersey's Westfield Watcher. So my sources for this one come from Mary Sparago, who did an article for the digestonline.com.
Okay.
And she did a lot of the work for me, so
so we're just going to use her
So
work.
we're just going to tell her story. All right, so this is the kind of goes along the feeling of like you feel like someone's watching you.
I don't like this already.
So this all starts in a small town called Westfield, New Jersey. In June of 2014, Derek and Maria Bordos, along with their 3 children, purchased a beautiful house in Westfield, New Jersey. It was a $1 million home in one of the safest neighborhoods in the state.
Till you're getting watched.
Until you get watched. In fact, the town was recently named one of the best places to live in America. After years of hard work and dedication, the family was finally able to experience the wonders of money and try and move to Westfield. So after they went through everything,
like the settlement and all, yeah.
3 days after closing the deal on their new home, a strange letter appeared in their mailbox.
Ew.
It was addressed to the new owners, quote unquote, and welcomed the family to 657 Boulevard, which was their address.
Okay.
The envelope was addressed in thick letters, but the body of the letter was typed. So the envelope was like serial killery, but
Wait,
the inside
like
was
thick letters,
typed.
you mean it was like the cut and paste letter type? Like you cut different letters out from magazines?
I wish. It was
Oh.
more just like a big Sharpie.
Oh, so it was hard to tell the handwriting.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then the letter itself was typed.
Okay.
So the writer of the letter made it clear that many members of his family have watched the house. His grandfather, his father, and now himself. They were its guardians. And this is what the letter said.
Hold on, real quick.
Mhm.
Guardians, as in like it was somebody protecting the house and the people in it, or like don't hurt the house or we'll fuck you up type of.
I think that one.
Okay.
The latter.
Okay.
So the letter went on to read, 657 Boulevard has been the subject of my family for decades now. And as it approaches its 110th birthday, I have been put in charge of watching and waiting for its second coming. It is now my time. Do you know the history of the house? Do you know what lies within the walls of 657 Boulevard? Why are you here? I will find out. That's what the letter said.
Wait, that was the whole letter?
That was the letter.
If I just moved into a house and I received that, I would be creeped. Ew! I would so creeped out. What does that even mean?
I don't know. It went on to the letter also. That was a quote I read you from the letter, but then the letter also goes on to identify the Bordas' family's minivan, renovation plans, and even details about the children.
So it was very obvious somebody was watching this
Yes.
family. And this is all the information they found out like within 3 days? Because you said this was like received like 3 days after they closed.
Yeah. It didn't go into, I couldn't find detail around that.
Like,
If
I'm
it-
wondering if they knew that this person was moving in and then they started doing some research beforehand.
It's possible. Or they've been watching them before they moved there, maybe. The only identifying factor from the suspect was the signature towards the bottom. It read, The Watcher. Derek, which is the father, immediately alerted the authorities, as one does when you get a creepy-ass letter. As the police department opened an investigation into the matter, he decided to contact the previous owners of 657 Boulevard to ask, has this happened before? And
yeah, I would have been curious about that too.
yeah, and was this watcher someone they should be scared of? Like, maybe he's just a friendly ghost
Casper.
that the other family knew about, and it's like nothing to really
Now,
actually worry about.
It was the new family who contacted the old family or the police officer who contacted?
The new family was trying to find out who owned the house before so they could contact them.
Okay.
So the police told Borges' family not to mention anything to any of the neighbors, as they would be considering everyone suspects, essentially. Anyone that could see the house. There was a second letter. The second letter was more disturbing, and it warned the couple not to let the children play in the basement as their screams could not be heard upstairs.
Oh my God. Ew.
Yeah, ew indeed.
Oh my God.
The police felt the watcher might be a man with schizophrenia that lived close by. His family swore that he would not do anything like that. Moreover, the police actually took the letter to investigate it.
Like for fingerprints or
Yes,
anything like that?
and they
yeah.
ran DNA on it. And they said when DNA was extracted from the envelope seal, like when they licked it,
Mm-hmm.
it was found that the DNA was actually from a woman.
It still doesn't make me feel any better.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. Nothing actually came out of this. So the previous family that owned the house, they were the Woods. That was their last name.
Okay.
So the Bordeaux contacts the Woods family. The Woods family said that they had received a similar letter several days before moving out. It too mentioned a family watching the house from afar. However, it was the first time that the Woods family ever encountered such a letter, and they lived there for 23 years. So they just kind of threw it out and didn't think anything of it because they were moving.
They didn't care, yeah.
Yeah, and that never happened to them before. That was the first time. For 2 weeks, the Bordas family remained on high alert. Maria, the wife, and the children stayed in the previous home while Derek canceled his business trips and surveyed the house. Renovations continued along with strange occurrences. like signs torn from their front yard. Eventually, Maria returned to the house to evaluate paint samples and collect the mail. The letter addressed to the homeowners. There was there was like, I don't know how many letters they got in total.
So what period time frame are we talking about? Like, are we talking about like a month span that this is all happening in? Like first few days? Do we know?
2 weeks.
Oh, so this is still within the first 2 weeks.
Mhm.
Okay.
This is all happening within the first 2 weeks. She said, so they were still receiving all these letters. One of the letters came addressed to the homeowners by their name this time, noting changes made to the house.
Inside too, or just outside?
Both, actually.
I thought, no.
The revelation that New Jersey's Westfield watcher was close enough to hear Maria and Derek's names led to significant paranoia. Worse yet, this letter listed the children's birth date and nickname. It inquired about one particular child who often painted on the porch. And like I said before, the letters kept coming. They kept getting creepier and creepier. This is another quote from one of the letters saying, "Is she the artist in the family? All of the windows and doors in 657 Boulevard allow me to watch you and track you as you move through the house. Who am I? I am the watcher and have been in control of 657 Boulevard for the better part of 2 decades now. The Woods family turned it over to you. It was their time to move on and kindly sold it when I asked them to." Which doesn't sound like it they did, since the family contacted them and they were in this.
Well, here's what my theory is, like, based off of what you've read so far, but like, what if it's a family member of the Woods? They would know what the inside looks like.
Mm-hmm.
They could have said something to their family like, hey, why don't you come move closer to me or something like that. And I don't know.
Spooky. So the Bordas family stopped returning to the house. Instead, they remained in their old house as investigations continued. Derek, the dad, sought the help of a former FBI agent and a security firm to reveal the author's identity. However, despite numerous attempts using forensics, criminal profiling, and interviews, the case has yet to be solved. 6 months after purchasing the house, the Bordas' family decided to sell the property. Unfortunately, given the rumors about the letters, every offer fell through. As you would imagine.
I guess at this point it's like known, it's reported, so people know it's happening.
Yeah. During this time, speculation circulated about the case. Was it the next door neighbors who had a perfect view of the home and purchased the lot during the time frame the watcher mentioned? Who knows? Could it have been a nearby couple whom police noted played a video game featuring a watcher character? Or perhaps was it a Bordas family member themselves, like you just said? Could be anyone. With little evidence and little suspects, each lead was quickly struck down. In 2016, to put matters to rest, the Bordas family proposed to tear down and rebuild the house. While this might have propelled relief for many neighbors, it spurred frustration in the watcher. Several days later, a final letter appeared, much more threatening than the last.
I don't like this story.
The watcher vowed to punish the family should they go through with their plan. Maybe a car accident, maybe a fire, maybe something as simple as a mild illness that never seems to go away but makes you feel sick every day, day after day, day after day. Maybe the mysterious death of a pet. Loved ones suddenly die. Planes and cars and bicycle crash. Broken bones. You wonder who the watcher is? Turn around, idiots. That was what the letter said.
I think the weirdest thing, the creepiest part for me of that letter was the turnaround idiots. Like, I feel like I would constantly be looking over my shoulder forever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like, because they weren't able to find out anything from all their investigations. They don't know who this person is.
Obviously, it's somebody who knows what they're doing because they can't find fingerprints or any sort of DNA on this letter or trace them. There's nothing in the system. Like, obviously, this person definitely knows what they're doing, which I think is the scariest part of it all.
Mm-hmm. I know. To bring my story to a close, The house finally sold in 2019.
So they don't own it anymore?
No.
Okay.
Losing roughly $500,000 in value.
Oh, no.
Due to the unpredictable nature of the letters, the Bordas family was willing to risk the financial strain. Safety far superseded their ties to the property, because not stupid. As they departed the house, so too did any answers concerning who were behind the letters. And a little fun fact, that this mystery is still unsolved. But Netflix is doing a miniseries.
Oh, seriously?
Mhm.
Oh, I'm so excited.
And it's going to be produced by none other than Ryan Murphy.
Really?
Yeah.
Now,
he's really good at those things.
Do you know when it comes out? Did you find out? Because I would definitely watch that.
Yeah, let me bring it up again.
And my other question is, this new person that purchased the house, do we know if they've been receiving letters since? Because 2019 was a few years ago now.
It sounds like
Or was it just that family?
once they left, they stopped receiving the letters.
See, I don't like that either.
Yeah. It's the miniseries. It doesn't have a date, but it's supposed to be released this year, 2022.
Ooh, that makes me happy.
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel. Like, it was a great story. It's scary, and like now I'm not going to be able to sleep tonight. It's one of those type of situations. Like, that's all I'm going to think about, or like I'm never going to be able to pick up the mail again. I'm like, did somebody write me a scary
I'm
letter?
going to write you a letter.
Yeah, do not. I will hurt you.
If anyone would like to send in letters, send them to.
Do not. Threatening emails.
Yeah.
Yeah, please.
Yes, if you'd like to send a threatening email,
No,
please,
let's not do that.
please send it to
No.
Conspiracy Happy Hour. We'll read it on the air.
Yeah.
ConspiracyHappyHour@gmail.com.
Yeah, we have our own little creepy story.
Yes. So that is the story of the Westfield
like
Watcher
that.
of New Jersey.
I like that. I've never really heard that.
Thank you for listening to Conspiracy Happy Hour. Be sure to listen, follow, and leave us a review on Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, or wherever you get your podcasts. Have a spooky story, conspiracy, or weird encounter that you would like to hear read in a future episode? Email your story to conspiracyhappyhour@gmail.com and follow the show on Instagram and Facebook @Conspiracy Happy Hour. This podcast is produced and edited by Geckos Media and is a part of the Geckos Media Network. Interested in starting your own podcast and not quite sure where to begin? Visit geckosmedia.com and sign up for a free one-on-one consultation. Until next time, see you!